Hey guys, how are y'all today? I hope you're having a great day, and today we have a really special video. It's been one that I've been so excited to film, and I finally have gotten around to it. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but we're gonna be talking about all things eyeshadow. We're gonna be doing an eyeshadow look for beginners, so it's just, I'm taking you through the steps that I do to... What just flew on my face here? I swear there was a fly that just literally landed right on my nose. Oops. Anyway, I'm gonna be taking you through all the steps to create a really beautiful, gradient, seamless eyeshadow look from start to finish using only one palette. I want to keep it simple, but make it look very glam, okay? So that's my goal today. If you are just getting started with eyeshadow, you don't know where to begin, you're like, what brushes do I use? What makeup should I buy? I definitely am here to tell you all that stuff and then do the demo. So as far as brushes goes, I have a whole post and video on my favorite makeup brushes that you're totally welcome to check out on your own time. I'm gonna link that below for you to watch, and it kind of goes, I go through step by step for every part of my face, which brush I recommend, and I also try to give affordable options. So if you're just starting out and you need to build your brush collection, definitely give that post a look. I don't want to go over the brushes in this video today. If you're starting out with eyeshadow and you need a great starter palette, there's a few that I want to recommend to you. The first, and this is the one that's on my eyes and that we're going to be using today, and it's the Morphe 350 palette. This might seem a little scary to you, but you know what? When you get more advanced, you'll move there. But what I like about this palette is that it is a great mix of neutral shades with a little bit of warm tones up there in the top. And what I like about this is a super popular eyeshadow palette, is that it's very affordable. Look how huge it is. You get 35 eyeshadows, and I think it's under $25. It's very affordable. You get a great mix of matte and shimmer shades, and it's just a great starter palette. And I feel like it's hyped up quite a bit, but I do think if you're just starting out with eyeshadow and you want to start neutral and you want to start doing more neutral, warm looks, which I think is flattering on everyone, this is the best one for you to start out with. The other one I would recommend, this one is like a holy grail old time OG favorite, and this is the Lorac Pro palette. And this one is pretty beat up and busted. Look, I've even used entirely one pan. And what I do love about this eyeshadow palette is that this row is all mattes, and then this row is all shimmers. So this is extremely like versatile, useful, and you've got some really amazing options as far as like creating a multitude of looks. This is beautiful. I love it. I think any beginner would really like this. Now we're just gonna jump into the eyeshadow tutorial, so let's get right into this, guys. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. For this eyeshadow look that I'm creating that's perfect for beginners, I'm going to be using my Morphe 350 palette. I'm gonna try and stick to these brushes. I know that seems like a lot, but I feel like these are kind of the only ones that you need. So the first thing that I do for my eyeshadow is I make sure that my eyes are primed, and I don't technically really use a primer. I know that a lot of people love eyeshadow primers, and I think if you have really oily eyelids or eyeshadows tend to slip around, that's great, go ahead and use one. But I tend to just use concealer, so when I'm doing my face makeup, I will make sure to put some on my eyelids. It cancels out the discoloration, and it just kind of gives me a like really smooth base. And then what I do is I make sure to take a powder. Like this is actually one of the, this is actually this eyeshadow right here in the palette that I'm just going to lightly tap over the eyes just to make sure that my eyelids are not sticky from the concealer, because once you start putting eyeshadow down on top of it, it may skip or look a little patchy. We're really up close and personal with my face right now, but I feel like this is the best way for you to see what I'm talking about. One thing I do want to mention before I even start is you need to really understand your eye shape and how shadows may or may not work with your eye shape. So as you can tell, I have a lot of lid space. I have really round eyes. I call them my anime eyes. They're so round, and I have a protruding eyelid. I have that much eyelid space, y'all. That's a lot of freaking eyelid space. You may not have as much eyelid space. You may have hooded eyes. So understanding your eye shape is really gonna play to your benefit here. But if you have a hooded eye shape, you always want to make sure everything's going kind of above the crease. As far as when you do crease work, you kind of create your own crease. But for my eye shape, I tend to move things a little more downward. If you have not a lot of eyelid space, you kind of want to work your shadows upward. I like to make my eyelids appear like there's not as much space as I do have. You'll see what I do for my eyes, and it may or may not work for your eye shape, but just understand your eye shape. People say, I'm gonna start with my transition shade, and they don't really explain what that actually means. And what it is it's taking a shade somewhere, you know, any shade that you have that's a couple shades darker than your skin tone, and you're going to work that, like I said, in this general area. And what that is serving is that when you place darker colors on top of it, so you're like layering colors, you start light and you kind of increase the intensity as you go along in that crease work. But the transition shade makes it seem, it gives your eyeshadow a more gradient effect as the eyeshadow kind of goes outward. I'm gonna take this shade right here, and I'm gonna use that as my transition shade. You always wanna make sure to tap off the excess. This is a Sigma E40 brush. I use this brush like every time I do an eyeshadow look. But you can see how it's just a little bit darker than my skin tone. We start light and we're gonna go darker. That's the first thing I do, and I like this big fluffy brush. You just want to use a big fluffy brush for this. The next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna try and keep it simple as far as how many colors I'm gonna use. I'm gonna go a little bit darker. So I'm gonna use this one right here, okay? I'm going to place this kind of a little bit lower than the transition shade. This is a Morphe M433 brush, and that shade is kind of going right here on the outer corner along the lower crease. And the key here is just to blend it out. Just take a tiny bit amount and blend it. And I'm using a motion that's just like back and forth. And I'm using the tiniest bit, and I like to build it up. So I place the color and then I So as you can see so far, this is already looking like a pretty nice blended look, because I've got this transition shade right up here, and I've got this right here. It kind of blends out and transitions into that skin color. The greatest thing about eyeshadow is blending, and just really taking your time to blend is gonna be your best friend. So I might go back with my E40 and just kind of make sure that everything's blending together nicely, just using some windshield wiper motions right here. You know, the great thing about this too is like you can kind of stop where you feel like that's enough. So if you feel like this is enough, you can always put on some eyeliner, mascara, and lashes and run out the door. Or you could keep going. So I'm gonna keep going because that's what I do. I'm gonna stick with this eyeshadow brush. I'm not gonna go with anything else. And now I'm going to go a little bit darker on the spectrum of colors. I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. And again, I'm just gonna place the color right on the outer edge of my eyelid and then blend it up into the crease. So we're just like really building this up into like a super fun gradient look. Can you tell what the difference that makes in just adding that little bit of a darker eyeshadow? I tend to not go all the way in, so like I do not take that color all the way over here. just because I feel like that might make my eye look more round. If you have very hooded eyes, it may be to your benefit to take that eyeshadow and pull it all the way in, but more up and lifted. And I've done this, I do eyeshadow on other people all the time, and these techniques work for many different eye shapes. You just have to kind of adjust it, like I said. Okay, so I feel like that looks pretty decent. I'm again going to take that E40 and just sort of lightly go over it. I'm barely putting any pressure. I just love a super blended eye shadow look. I love zero harsh lines. You could, again, stop here. This could be kind of where you want that outer portion of your eye to look, and that's fine. You could stop there, or you could use one more color to kind of get that very good definition right there on the outer corner. A lot of people call this the outer V of your eye. I don't have a V area, I have round eyes, but the outer V is kind of like this little area right there. That's what they call the outer V. Since my eye is round, I tend to put a little bit of darker eyeshadow right there and like right there in a little V shape. I take this brush here. It kind of is a little tapered, so I can place the color pretty precisely with it, and then I can go with another brush like that other Morphe brush and like blend it out. I'm gonna take this dark brown right here, and this is just, you know, a very easy eye. Well, this isn't, for me it's easy. Like it's taking a long time for me to explain it because I really want to be thorough. But honestly, when you get the hang of this and you start doing this, it's gonna be very easy. So this is mostly about placing that color like right there on that spot. And I'm kind of creating an outer V for my eyes. So I'm kind of pulling it a little bit like that. Just to make sure that it's blended out, I'm taking that Morphe brush that has some of the other colors on it and just kind of working it just to make sure that that's all extremely blended. There's a couple things you could do here. You could leave your eyelid blank and then move on to start highlighting your brow bone and your inner corner. That's fine. Or you can take a matte shadow and then use it's like a flat shader brush just like this. This is the Sigma E55. You don't have to do that, and to just, you know, take like you could do anything really, like a cream color or whatever hits your fancy today, and you could just call it a day with keeping the eye look really matte. That's a beautiful look. Or you could definitely go the metallic shimmery eyelid route. That's my go-to look. I like the look of a very shimmery eyelid, but I don't like it too frosty. I'm gonna do two, just because so you can see this, because we're using a huge palette, we might as well. I'm gonna take these two shadows. So this, I can't even see what I'm doing. This is a more bronzy type shadow, and this has a little bit lighter of a gold to it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the more bronzy one and we're gonna put it like right here in the middle, and take the gold and put it kind of more towards the inner portion. One thing that people do to really make sure that their metallic shadows are intense is they take like a setting spray, like MAC Fix Plus. You don't have to use Fix Plus, it's just my favorite. And then what you can do is open it up and then spray the brush real quick with it. You dip the brush into the pan of eyeshadow with the brush a little bit wet, and then you just gently tap that onto the lid to give it a little bit more of an intense look, and it also sticks better. You have less fallout. So do you see how that looks real nice and metallic? I'm gonna do my whole lid with this bronze. It's so pretty. So you can see how that gives even more of a metallic look to the lid. It's So pretty. And then just to kind of blend this metallic out into the outer portion is I'm going to take some of that like mid-tone brown that I was using before I got to the dark brown. So maybe a little bit of this right here. And I might kind of place a little bit right there just to make sure that this kind of all blends out and then it's not just like metallic then brown. Okay, I wanted you to see that really up close, especially the lid color. And again, I'll go back with this E40, just kind of make sure that these edges are still blended out really nicely. And then the next thing that I'm gonna do is highlight the inner corner and the brow bone. This brush is so amazing. I use it for both. It is the Morphe E36. It is like the perfect highlight brush. And I'm taking this matte cream color right here and I might mix a little bit of this with it. Yeah, I'm gonna mix the two because I really kind of want a pearl finish there for the brow bone. And I'm just taking it right there and making sure that it again is seamless with that transition shade that I first put down. And I don't want it to cover up too much of that transition. I just really want to highlight that brow bone. And then I'm gonna take this real pearly, almost pink color and pop that in the inner corners. I do not want to look like Alien. A lot of people like to really brighten that up. And I think that looks great, but for this time, I'm not really gonna do that. I don't think that it's gonna work. I like a softer highlight right there. You could stop here, but I feel like it looks a little incomplete. So I'm using a pencil brush. This is the Sigma E30, and I'm going to take the second color that I put down on my eyes. You know, I did the transition and then I did this. And that's gonna go on the lower lash line. See what a difference that makes? It really just kind of pulls everything together. You could stop here, or you could take an even darker color and put that right there. You could use like a little flat definer brush, and I'm gonna use that really dark brown just to show you. And that can go against the lower lash line. Okay, I went ahead and did my other eye. Then of course, after you do that, you're going to take a step back, look at it, say, I'm gonna go back and just kind of blend a little bit more. I'm gonna take that E40 again, just kind of go back and forth. If you want to add a little bit more bronze, or if you want to add a lighter color right there to the lid, you know, the options are limitless, y'all, but I'm just gonna stop here because this is the look that I like, and I'm gonna just go with it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to apply a little bit of mascara, and then I'm going to apply some false lashes, and then maybe a little bit of eyeliner on top of my falsies, kind of on right here. Okay, I actually just put a couple coats of mascara on. I curled my lashes roll like a lot and I layered that mascara on, but I just wanted to show you what this look looks like with just mascara. I don't have any eyeliner on, so I feel like it looks so pretty. This is so nice just by itself with mascara and no eyeliner at all. You could definitely go in tight line, you could do a wing liner, you can do whatever you want with this eyeshadow look, but I'm keeping it simple because I want the focus to be on the eyeshadow. I know a lot of you guys are beginners and you don't really wear falsies. I love to wear my falsies, so I'm gonna put them on and show you what it looks like with the falsies on, just so you can see. If you need a tutorial on how to apply false lashes, I definitely have one. I'm gonna link it below. It's gonna help you. It's really easy. Now let's put some falsies on. Ready? All right, I have my falsies on, a little bit of liner on the top just to kind of mask the band of the falsies. I don't have any other eyeliner on. I just kind of want to keep it simple today so you can see the final look. Alright guys, this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this extremely helpful and that you learned a few tips and tricks along the way when it comes to creating an awesome eyeshadow look. Of course, you can always amp things up even more, tone it down even more. There are more advanced techniques, but I tried to keep this as simple but as thorough as I possibly could. And let me know if you have any questions at all. I'd be happy to go over them with you. As always, thank you so much for following along. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button if you liked what you see today, and be sure to follow along on social media. I will see you in my next video. Bye!